The double clone dragon attack is by far the easiest Town Hall 13 attack strategy you can use. So we'll be breaking down how you can use this alongside the best build for your heroes to 3-star any base you see. First things first, let's talk all about hero equipment, starting with the Barbarian King, as I would recommend sticking with the Rage Vial and Giant Gauntlet combo. It's still consistent and very strong, especially if you're funneling. However, if you got the Spiky Ball upgraded, you can also run the Gauntlet with the Spiky Ball combo, as it can often snipe off defenses over walls or overall do roughly the same funneling as the Rage Vial and Giant Gauntlet combo. Next is the Archer Queen, and this is pretty consistent, but she'll use the healer puppets with the giant arrow, as sniping off 1 to 2 air defenses truly helps with an attack like this. But not only that, you can have healers to do a mini queen walk to help funnel more of the base while your dragons are moving into the core. And with the Grand Warden, he'll want to keep the Eternal Tome with the Healing Tome, as it basically allows for both the dragons and balloons to stay alive for a lot longer. I find this to be a little bit more consistent than the Rage Gem due to being able to keep more troops alive. As for the Royal Champion though, she is just stuck to her defaults, so that's going to be her best. Now, how does this army work? Well, it's less complicated than you think. First, you want to line up air defenses with trash buildings with your queen to snipe off 1 to 2 air defenses. This is going to help your attack by a large margin. You'll then want to use 2 lightnings to snipe off an air sweeper that'll give your attacks problems, or if they're paired together, use them on both sweepers since they're going to be very close together. With your king, use him to funnel the other side parallel to your queen with her healers to get the dragons to go between your 2 funnels. With both funnels set, you can run the dragons, balloons, warden, and blimp into the base. Follow this with an early rage to power the balloons and dragons in, and use your warden's Eternal Tome to keep everything alive and moving deeper in. Outside of that, the blimp can sail to the town hall, where you've got 2 clones to secure the town hall. Just be sure to overlap them so you don't end up losing a lot of your balloons. As for your Royal Champion, she'll be used on the back end to snipe off any leftover air defenses and other defenses for that matter to 3-star quite easily and definitely very quickly. So here's what I would recommend that you bring for your army composition. Of course, you can take rocket balloons if you want to increase the amount of damage your balloons do, but otherwise just taking regular balloons is completely fine. Now that you know the ins and outs of the army, let's get you some quality examples to understand this attack further. Let's first start with a box type design first. Pretty much, you're going to start off by using your lightning spells to remove sweepers. In this case, they were very close together, so it's really nice value. With the queen, use your giant arrow in order to snipe off an air defense by making sure that you are lining it up. And otherwise, you've got the healers with your queen to set up one part of your funnel. Since this basically is a self-sustaining funnel, you can use the king on the other side in order to make sure that you're able to get your dragons to go right in between your 2 funnels. Since he has the Rage Vial and Giant Gauntlet, he's also pretty self-sustaining since he's really tanky, or you can use the Rage, or you can use the Giant Gauntlet with the Spiky Ball to have just as much HP and just allow yourself to stay alive for a lot longer. Other than that, once both of your funnels are set, you've got your dragons, your warden, balloons, and the blimp to start moving in. An early rage is really important to get your dragons in along with your balloons. An early Grand Warden ability will allow all of your balloons and dragons to soak up defenses, and of course, will stay alive for a lot longer with the healing. Of course, this is just going to allow you to really smoke the core of the base, so try to get as many key defenses down. With the blimp though and the clone, overlap the clones in order to get the most value, but in case you find a tornado trap, like in some cases, you're going to more than likely want to make sure that you're still able to get the most value out of your clones and getting rid of the town hall. Other than this, use your Royal Champion on the back end to help clear out any remaining defenses, especially air defenses if you can, in order to help your dragons secure a solid 3-star. You don't want to miss the town hall with the blimp, so that way you have a very easy 3-star on your hands. Next, we have a more diamond type of design. In this case, the sweepers are placed away, so we can't get both. But with the queen, we can use her to snipe off 2 air defenses instead of just 1. You do want to make sure that what you're doing is setting the other side of your funnel with your barbarian king and one side with your queen, using 2 lightnings specifically for a sweeper that is going to cause you any problems if you go into it is really what's important to take down. Other than this, you've got a very clear funnel on 2 different sides with your king and your queen. This allows you to send in your dragons right the way in, especially if you're sending them in from the top part of the base. This really kind of allows you to have a lot of flexibility with an early rage to power everything in, but also with using the Grand War Internal Tome so you don't miss the blimp and get through everything, getting massive value, using a freeze possibly on the CC and doing the exact same thing. You just want to make sure though that you're not placing the close spells too far away. In this case, I got pretty lucky. I removed the Town Hall and the air defense, but I got really lucky. So you just want to make sure that you overlap them. Even if you're hitting a tornado trap, you just want to make sure. Other than that, you should have a lot of dragons left up at your disposal. I would recommend though, if you are using the back end royal champion, you do want to make sure that you're not sending her in towards the king. I tend to have a tendency to do that, but for the most part, as long as you're not sending her in to her death, you should be completely fine to get some type of value. But as long as you can get rid of all the air defenses, then the dragons have a very easy time clearing through. This just allows you to have a lot of dragons on the field and grasp that really easy 3-star. Now, what about an anti-3-star base? Well, this can still work quite well. Otherwise, you're pretty much going to be starting this the same way. Queen to snipe off 2 air defenses if you can. On the other side, you've got your king, and pretty much you can very easily set that and allow your queen to kind of walk and do her own thing. Pretty much with a funnel set on both sides of the base, you can very easily now run your dragons, balloons, warden, and the blimp into the base. An early rage is really important. Let your dragons basically from here do their own thing. So you'll want to use your clones with the rage and allow your balloons or rocket balloons to basically get a ton of value. This is why having them overlap is really important, so you can get massive value. With your royal champion, you, like I said, want to make sure that she's sniping off any back end air defenses, and once that happens, you pretty much have 3-starred. Your dragons cannot be stopped at that point, and since there's no real key defenses that are going to harm it, other than this, you've got your dragons to just overwhelm the rest of the base and very, very easily 3-star. It's quick, it's strong, and definitely is super easy that you can just shut off your brain and use it. So by far one of the easiest and oldest armies to still be able to work extremely well, and has only gotten stronger thanks to hero equipment. Now, if you want something a little bit more complex and a little bit more fun for that matter, I'd recommend my Fireball guide if you haven't seen it yet, and it might change your mind on what to upgrade next in your blacksmith.